Good morning, good day, and good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all races, ages, genders, sexual orientations, religions, etc. I'm starting off my Halloween series with a topic that is not particularly scary, but it can cause some level of concern. This occurrence is one that I have had myself, on multiple occasions even. It happened when I was in a deep sleep and suddenly I wake up. What I'm referring to is what is known as sleep paralysis. To a person who may not have had this experience before, they may ask, what is sleep paralysis? And why is it so scary? Well, according to a Harvard Health article by Jeanette Restivo, sleep paralysis is a temporary sense of paralysis that occurs between stages of wakefulness and sleep. During this stage, one is unable to speak or move. This does not last long, but it can be scary. Sleep paralysis occurs during one stage of sleep called rapid eye movement. It affects about 8 in 100 people, with some reporting it occurring once, while others report it happening multiple times. There are two types of sleep paralysis. The first is isolated sleep paralysis, which occurs without any other signs of narcolepsy or other sleep disorders. The other is recurrent sleep paralysis, which involves multiple sleep paralysis episodes over time. This is associated with narcolepsy. Sleep paralysis is caused by a variety of factors. The typical causes are high blood pressure, mental health problems, alcohol or substance abuse, the previously mentioned narcolepsy, and irregular sleep patterns. While scary, there have been no reported incidents of sleep paralysis being fatal. The worst that happens to a person is the inability to move for a short period of time. Many people who have reported having sleep paralysis have made note of feeling, hearing, and even seeing a presence in their area, often malevolent. Some have attributed this feeling to a sleep paralysis demon. There are different types of sleep paralysis demons to include the incubus, a feeling of pressure on the person's chest as if someone is sitting or lying on top. This often comes with a difficulty of breathing and feelings of dread. Out-of-body figures or doppelgangers involves seeing a version of oneself or floating figures near the body, sometimes tied to a feeling of detachment or disorientation. The witch or old hag, a specific figure, often described as a crone or witch-like being, sitting on the chest or standing nearby. There are many cultures around the world that have a belief in the true nature of sleep paralysis demons. One common name for this is a night hag, a creature known to cause a person to feel the presence of a supernatural, malevolent being which immobilizes the person as if sitting on their chest or the foot of their bed. In Scandinavian folklore, it is believed that sleep paralysis is caused by a creature known as a mare, a supernatural creature related to incubi and succubi. The mare is described as a damned woman who rides horses, which left the horses exhausted and covered in sweat. In similar fashion, the mare is said to ride a person while the individual is sleeping, causing severe anxiety and feelings of suffocation. She attacks both people and animals, and often moves around taking the appearance of an animal, with a cat being the most common. With the occurrence of the incident happening in the evening, this gives credence to the origin of the term nightmare. In Fiji, It is believed that sleep paralysis is due to a deceased relative who has come back for some unfinished business, or has come to communicate something important to the living. This phenomenon in their culture is called carnitivoro, which roughly means to be eaten by a demon. The person or people near the sleeping individual would shout "Kania, Kania," which means eat, eat. This is done in an attempt to prolong the possession for a chance to converse with the deceased relative or spirit to seek answers as to why he or she has come back. The person waking up from the experience is often asked to immediately curse or chase the spirit of the dead relative, which sometimes involve literally speaking to the spirit and telling him or her to go away or use expletives. In Turkish culture, sleep paralysis is called karabasan, which is associated with the supernatural spirit known as a jinn. This malevolent being is said to enter the victim's room, hold the person down hard enough to not allow any kind of movement, and start to strangle the person. To get rid of the creature, one must pray to Allah by reading Al-Falaq and Al-Nas from the Quran. In a different interpretation, the jinn is said to have a wide hat, and if the person can show the courage to take that hat, the jinn becomes a person's slave. Thank you for watching this video. While sleep paralysis isn't something one should fear, it is something worth making note of. While many people do make jokes about the feelings associated with this occurrence, since we're so desensitized to traumatic events these days, others may take this matter more seriously, especially in the different cultures that I didn't mention in this video. Now, as I said from the start, I myself have experienced sleep paralysis. As of the recording of this video, I can say that I have only experienced it 4 times in my life. Twice were when I was stationed in Hawaii, and twice where I'm currently at in Germany. Despite them happening in different times and different points in my life, they all have one thing in common. I felt something walking on me. In fact, it felt kind of like this picture here. The first time it happened, I remember me jolting and grabbing onto the sides of my blankets tightly as I was struggling to catch my breath. I felt something pressing heavily on my chest, and it walked between my legs as if it were leaving. The other 3 times all were similar, in which I still felt something walking on my body, but this time it felt like I was being pressed down. It was either the entity keeping me down to try to harm me, or I was being saved by my guardian angel. Either way, I still remember the feeling of dread and fear afterwards. Whether or not these were real or hallucinations is something I may never know. It also doesn't help that being in the military, sleep deprivation is common, which is part of what causes sleep paralysis. Something that also makes this feeling so daunting is the unfortunate levels of suicide in the military. Being in the barracks also made me wonder at times if I was being attacked by one of my own. Fortunately for me, I haven't had any sleep paralysis incidents since 2023, roughly around that time. So maybe and hopefully I have felt the last of it. Not to sound cliche, but I'm actually curious if you, the viewer, have had sleep paralysis, or if you had a similar incident. Now, if you feel like sharing, that's great. If you do feel like sharing, please tell me what your experience in either the comment section or on my social media links. And with that being said, thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves. Make good decisions. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and sweet dreams.